Hello and welcome to Exotic Foods for Exotic People. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a delicious sauce for pasta. The sauce contains no tomatoes and is a curry sauce. All you need for this sauce is an onion, garlic, thyme, Eddos, oil, and pasta. These will be the only ingredients you'll need for this recipe. To start off, you'll need to get some Eddos. Eddos are a tuber that grows underground. You can find them in your local stores, you can find them in specialty stores, Caribbean stores, etc. They're kind of a niche food, but they're basically like potatoes. You can remove the hairs off of them, although if you touch the hairs, they can bother you, so beware of that. You can remove the hairs off of them and clean them off and put them to boil in a pot of water. It doesn't matter how much water you put in the pot, just put enough to cover it and to allow it to boil. Let this boil for a while until the Eddos become soft. Your goal is to make sure the Eddos are soft enough to stick a knife through them. Eddos are inedible when they're raw and hard. You cannot use them in this form, and if you try and eat them in this form, it'll just irritate your throat. It won't be delicious. So make sure they're cooked well enough, and make sure you can stick a knife through them. When you can stick a knife through your Eddos, you can take them off, put them through a strainer, and keep your Eddos there for later use. Next, you will want to take an onion, chop it up into smaller bits, take some garlic and chop it up into smaller bits, and you will want to get some thyme out. You will need about a half teaspoon of curry and 1/4 teaspoons of turmeric. Get a clean pot and pour a tiny bit of oil into it. Make sure the oil gets hot, and when the oil is hot, place your onions, garlic, and thyme into the pot. Make sure these cook for a little bit before you put in your curry and your turmeric. After you do this, and after they cook for a little bit and get a little bit brown, you can then throw in your water. Now you can take your Eddos and throw them into the pot. Your Eddos should be soft, so you shouldn't have to throw in a lot of water or let them cook for very long, but you can let them get as soft as you want. Just let them cook for a little bit until the Eddos kind of soaks up the curry, and the curry flavor kind of gets into the Eddos. When this is done and the curry dries down to your desired amount, you can take it off the stove and you have the sauce for your pasta. Now you will need pasta for your sauce. You can use whichever pasta you want. I am going to be using corn pasta for this demonstration. You can use wheat pasta, although I do not know how it will taste with wheat pasta. Any kind of pasta shape is good. I am using spaghetti, but you can use whichever shape you feel is best. Cook it the normal way you would usually cook pasta or follow the instructions on the box. I put a pot of water to boil, and then I put the pasta in. After the pot begins to boil and I throw the pasta into it and have the pasta cook, I strain out the pasta and I have a successfully cooked batch of pasta for my sauce. You can then put your pasta in a bowl, and then you control your sauce over the pasta. In a way, this can replace the typical tomato sauce and meatballs. This can replace meat-based dishes if you use Eddos. It can replace them if you use a different kind of tuber, and it tastes pretty good, and it's something that will make you think twice about pining for a tomato sauce recipe. You can also use this in a variety of other dishes, but I used it in pasta. You can add whatever spices or other ingredients you want to it. You can add oil, you can add salt. I tend to sprinkle a little bit of oil on my pasta as well as a little bit of salt. You can do it differently, but this is the dish. Hopefully this suits your purposes, and hopefully you enjoyed this recipe. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave them below. And if you like what I'm doing here, you can subscribe, and I'll be back with more material next week.